and I got to take a trip down memory lane for the first time that I got voted in to the Pro Bowl. And there have been other years where I thought I should have been voted in, and I had an incentive for $250,000 if I made the Pro Bowl, which is woohoo! Yeah, that's big money.
Oh yeah.
I was really happy about that incentive, and I definitely did think about that whenever I was told that I made the Pro Bowl. I'm like, okay, here we go. Another fucking
today,
$250,000.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Does it show up on the next check? Great question. So you feel that, but all the emotions that come with being, I don't want to say vindicated by your peers and by coaches and by other people, but it is that feeling. It's a feeling of pride. It's a feeling of like, you think of everything you've done and all the people that have helped you along the way to get here, that you're being put into an upper echelon of the upper echelon, which is the NFL. And then Pro Bowlers are just like, you know, held up in higher regard. Forever you'll be introduced as a Pro Bowler. It was a goal of mine. It was a dream. That's why the $250,000 incentive was put on there, because that was a goal of mine. And then as you start chasing that, you start to realize like, oh, a lot of this is out of your control. Like,
Yeah.
you can have the best year possible. You can become the go-to guy for the offense on an NFC team that people are talking about winning a Super Bowl. Immediately upon being traded, you become their number one weapon on the offensive side of the ball. Have a resume, have a pedigree, have success in the past, have an incredible game on prime time every single week, basically, and still not get voted. That's Christian McCaffrey.
That's right.
Wild.
Christian McCaffrey not getting voted in is crazy to me. Big name, big year, big trade, big impact. Normally that's what comes alongside the Pro Bowl voting, because naturally if humans are doing the voting and they don't know everything about the position or everything about the job, they're going to think about like, oh, what's the hype? There's a reason. Big names are a big name for a reason. You see that in a lot of positions that people don't know a lot of things about. Offensive line, it happens on a pretty regular basis where maybe a guy makes 2 or 3 more Pro Bowls than he actually should because he did have such a good start, so everybody knows his name. It's a position group not a lot of people know a lot about, and then boom, you're in there. Christian McCaffrey, running back, big name, popular, very popular football team.
Yeah.
The 49ers faithful was huge,
Has
right?
the most all-purpose yards in the league this year, I think.
And he's the fucking guy for them. Like, he is their guy. Primetime TV, he's getting the ball all the time, and you know who he is, and his dad was in the NFL. Doesn't get voted in. It's like, wow, that's bananas. There's a couple kickers and punters that probably think they got shafted because they have the stats and the, I'd say the situation to get in, and guys didn't make it. It's like, it's a tough thing to get voted in. There's bullshit seemingly that has to take place with the Pro Bowl. The game has become such an exaggerated nothingness that people have almost started thinking that the title of Pro Bowl is something that is tarnished. And I can only speak for my story, which is what I said on the internet last night. Like, I was fucking pumped when I got voted into my first Pro Bowl.
Hell yeah.
I was very excited. I was very thankful. I had thought I should have made it in years past, so that vindication of making it afterwards felt even better. Then I went to the Pro Bowl, and I thought, well, this is a sham. This is not what the Pro Bowl should be. The Pro Bowl should be a celebration of the greatest sport on earth, the greatest league on earth, with their greatest players on earth, like it used to be, I feel like. And we used to see it on television live from Hawaii. And I used to hear stories, because I got drafted in to that OG Colts team, winningest decade in football. Peyton was there, Jeff Saturday's there, Joseph Adai's there,
Right.
Reggie Wayne's there, Dallas Clark is there, Gary Pratt. Like, that team won a lot. So they had a lot of Pro Bowlers. And I used to, you know, I was very lucky and fortunate that they kind of welcomed me in as a young punter into their community and into their family quickly. And I got to hear stories. People share stories about the fucking Pro Bowl and how it was the most amazing time of all time. Pat, you ever been to Hawaii? No, I never been to Hawaii. That's a long, long flight. I never been. That's real expensive. They're like, Pro Bowl in Hawaii is the best. Then they start telling stories. Whole resort just for NFL and families. Everybody hangs out by the pool. It's basically just an open bar. Everybody is cool with everybody. Autographs being signed, pictures being signed. There's nothing off limits. Like, it is just a celebration of everybody, and that's where everybody makes the friends. That's where people talk ball. That's where people got better. That's where the events took place, where you learned about people that you could only be a fan of from afar. So it was like a big deal almost, and it was talked about as such. And I make it. Love Phoenix. want to move to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Arizona's awesome.
Talk about Phoenix being awesome.
Yes.
But it was like the first year they decided not to do it in Hawaii. They're like, we're going to move it every single year. So it was in Phoenix, Arizona, because the Super Bowl was there. It was going to be the week before the Super Bowl in the city that the Super Bowl was the decision that the NFL made. Didn't even have the full hotel. There was like 2 other conferences happening at the hotel. So everybody was scared to death to kind of meet in public places out there. You couldn't really walk room to room because literally you were getting accosted by the autograph hounds who are scumbags.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they faked getting into conference. You want to guess this?
No.
No.
Of course
The
not.
autograph hounds who are strategically preying on people's hard work and their kindness and showing up at places so that they can profit and take advantage of people that are fans of people. It's a sham, that whole thing. That thing is a real problem.
Big time.
Not like in the world. There's other real problems. We heard about them. There's real problems happening out there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in that world, those people deserve no pity, ever. Just so we know that. They faked her in conferences. Luke Kuechly can't even get from like the mandatory meeting that we have to go to the night to his room without like 4 people with Luke Kuechly jerseys. Hey. You think Luke Kuechly's going to want to hang out? You think Luke Kuechly's going to want to
No,
go
probably not.
hang out at the lobby bar and have a good time? You think if there's other people at the conferences that are at that bar as well, you think anybody wants to say anything about anything anywhere ever?
Nope.
No. And then the practice was like an hour and a half into the desert, and it was cool. We got to see the military folks and shake hands, and that's obviously an incredible moment. But you're on a tiny bus, and then on the way back, there was a crash. It was like 2 hours back, so 3.5 hours on a tiny bus. Got to know JJ, Chris Carter, Martellus Bennett was in there.
Marty.
I think those are the guys you don't like.
Connor Barwin was in there. Fucking epic conversation. But that was like the only time we got to do it, and it was only with 4 or 5 people, and I was very thankful that I happened to be around some of the most entertaining 4 to 5 people that you could possibly be. Chris Carter on that. Marty B.
Marty B.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
absolutely amazing. Drew Brees was in there a little bit, but that was basically the only social thing. And that was like the best time, even though it was. So I think there came a point where the Pro Bowl, in the eyes of the NFL, and I would say it's the NFL's fault. Yeah, how about it? NFL's
go.
fault. Where it used to be held in high regards. And when it was held in high regards, you know, it was treated as such. And that's whenever we had the quarterback challenges,
Oh, yeah.
and we had people running 40s, and offensive linemen weren't scared to lift. They were at a resort in Hawaii having an incredible time meeting other heroes of theirs. So I think they're much more willing to do a lot more, as opposed to when it became just a money-making grab basically for a city to get 2 weekends of the NFL, as opposed to what it was in Hawaii. So I think if we go forward and we start treating it as if it's special again, which I think can happen.
For sure.
I think that can happen. I honestly believe it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Now, that easy fix is also in conversation with the grass fields
Right.
and with the officiating.
Yep. Of
course.
Both pretty easy fixes. Boom. What do you need? Oh, you got a lot of it. $12.7 billion every
Yeah.
single year just for your media rights.
What?
Bingo.
You have a lot of it.
That's
Spend
just
a little bit
just
more.
me,
You
right?
have a lot of money, the NFL. Here's an easy fix. You want to make that Pro Bowl awesome again? You want people not – because the NFL should want Pro Bowlers to be held in like at a standard, right? Like these are our best players. These are our superstars. These are our all-stars. And they make money off the Pro Bowl game. A lot of it. That's a part of those media rights deals
Yeah.
that are generating billions and billions. Actually, it's just $1 billion. A little over $1 billion a month.
Yeah.
Every single year, the media rights deals are that's paying for the NFL. The games are going to happen, already been paid for. They're being paid for with ticketing and concessions and merch and parking
Advertising.
and real estate and sponsors getting in there. That's just the media rights deal. Let alone whenever the sports gambling continues to grow, that can be renegotiated. Who
be
knows if
wild.
that's in a year or 2 years? It's only going to get more. I just think you can invest in things, and when you do, they get better. And I think that is something that businesses should think about doing. More specifically, the NFL should think about doing in this time of gross profit. This is the most they've ever profited in their entire life.
Yeah.
This is a time where I think you can invest in some things and bring them back to a standard that I think the NFL would want. And the Pro Bowl is certainly one of them. So there was a lot of last night about, like, the only thing that ever is conversated about is the guys that don't make it, the Pro Bowl system being flawed,
Of course.
and the Pro Bowl is a joke anyways, who cares? And like the joke about, well, you won't be able to play in Pro Bowl, you play in a Super Bowl has been made forever. But the whole like Pro Bowl is a sham thing is not a good look for the NFL.
Nope.
And it's not how the NFL players view it, I think. Like NFL players, your first time getting voted in, it's a real, like
Huge
it actually means something.